Hello, gist lovers, and welcome back to Oba's Trending Gist, where we serve you the hottest and the most talked about topics in Nigeria. Today, we are delving into a highly sensitive and contentious issue that has persisted despite efforts to resolve it. The man at the center of it all, former Anambra State Governor and 2023 presidential candidate Mr. Peter Obi. A new video has surfaced in which he makes a bold claim about his educational achievements, a claim that directly challenges one of the biggest critics, Reno Omokri, and his famous $10,000 challenge. Now, let's set the stage, because this isn't just a simple political statement. For years, Reno Omokri has issued a public challenge promising to donate $10,000 to anyone who can provide evidence of a single school built from scratch by Peter Obi during his time as governor. This challenge has become a significant weapon used by critics to question Obi's track record. They argue that while he talks a good game about saving money, he hasn't invested in building new infrastructure, such as schools. On the other hand, Peter Obi's supporters, the obedient, have consistently maintained that his impact on education was revolutionary, even if it did not involve laying new foundations. So, when this new interview clip dropped, it was like pouring fuel on an already raging fire. In the clip, Peter Obi not only defends his record but seems to claim he did precisely what his critics says he didn't. So who is telling the truth? Is someone about to become $10,000 richer? Let's watch the man himself and then we'll break it down. So pay close attention to his exact words. Take a watch.
I have an opportunity to serve at the subnational level. We're investing in health, we're investing in education, we're investing in pulling people out of poverty by creating rural roads and everything. We're not busy building mansions. We shut down our last lodge, governor's lodge in Abuja, shut down cost of governance, shut down in order to mobilize the resources to critical areas of development. I actually built a lot of, they said building schools. I don't know whether building schools or building infrastructures in school. I don't know what they actually want. If you look at what I've done, I've actually built a lot of schools. But I don't need to answer that. If they read my manifesto, before I became governor, Anambra State was very low in education. In fact, schools were closed for 2 years. People did not go to school. We were low in rating. And while I was there, when I came, if you read my manifesto, what I told you now was areas where I said I'm going to deal with. And we moved from 20-something in number to number 1. Go and get, even today, go and get even cutoff point. Anambra is the highest. We're number 1 till today. I wish any of you are from Anambra State. I wish you are. So you call your town and I'll tell you what I did in your town in education. All the schools, we have about 500 secondary schools. Let me start with secondary schools. Okay. All the 500 secondary schools had what I can call, were computerized. We had buses, we had support in terms of teachers, we had generators to make sure they have lights. Those who needed boreholes, we give them boreholes. There's nothing, I don't know how I will start to tell you. I visited all of them at least twice, physically. Look at the infrastructures, look at what is happening with them, ensure that they have things that is required for learning. And that's, I can go on and on. No school, as at the time, maybe it's happening now, no state, I can say categorically in Nigeria, where you were able to equip the schools the way we did. No state. No state will you say the schools had brand new buses too. No school had, will you say all the secondary schools had generator. No place. When we bought our computers, desktop, everything from HP, which is still there, as at the time, they said no government in Africa have bought this quantity from them. In fact, a vice president for Africa and Middle East came the day we launched it they will give it away to schools. So there's a lot of improvement. We put internet in all the secondary schools. So it can go on and on. A university, I built a university college campus in a place called Ibariam from the scratch, cutting the forest. I built a teaching hospital from the fastest teaching hospital ever built in Nigeria was built under my tenure in 2 years from the scratch. It's today in Oka. You can go there. These are things you can see. They're physical. They're not promised and everything. When I started, we didn't have a state library. I built one. It's there in Oka. You can go and see it. And I can go on and on in areas where in health was the same thing. We didn't have one single school of nursing, midwifery, or school of health technology that was accredited. Today, we have over a dozen. They were all supported, accredited while I'm there. So you can go and, these are things that are, I'm telling you the things that are verifiable. You can go and see it. So when somebody comes and says, oh, you didn't build a secondary school. Why do you have to build a secondary school when there's secondary school all over the place that we're in bad shape and they're protected, and I go and build a new one? That is the problem of Africa. That is the problem because there's corruption. Because people want to start their own. If you want, there's so many existing ones. Anambra is not a place where you go and say, oh, there's no secondary school. There are secondary schools all over the place. But they were in bad shape. Their structures, everything have collapsed. Things were not working. It's nothing. So I needed to rebuild them. And I rebuilt them. And if you go there, you see buildings that were all built. If you collect them together, I would have killed about hundreds of secondary schools. But I didn't need to. It's a state I know every community. I visited every community. I didn't say I visited every. I visited every single community in Anambra State as governor at least twice while I was there. So I know what every community needed, and I provided it. They have secondary schools, visited the secondary school, saw it, saw what they were there, and tried to do something. So I don't need to build a new one. Even at that, there's some new ones that were set up while I was there, and I supported it, and I can show, and I can say, we did this in education. And to prove it, we became number one. If you go to the secondary schools today, they still tell you, Mr. Obi did this, Mr. Obi did this. And since I left over 10 years ago, it is still the same generator that I gave them that they have. It's still the same vehicle that I gave them. It's still the same. So, what else will I do?
Okay, wow, that was a lot there to take in. Let's fact check this with a clear head. Did you notice the nuance? Peter Obi said, I have actually built a lot of schools, but then immediately clarifies, I don't know what they mean by building schools or building infrastructures in schools. This is the heart of the matter. Obi's main argument isn't about building hundreds of new school buildings from the scratch where none existed. His revolutionary achievement in Anambra as well documented fact was the Anambra State education sector reform. What he did was this. He took the dilapidated, poorly run public schools and handed them back to their original owners, the missions and churches. But he didn't just hand them back, he supported them with billions of naira. He mentioned equipping them, and that's the verifiable part. He said, he provided computers from HP to all 500 plus secondary schools. He provided school buses, 2 for each school. He provided generator and boreholes for water. He put internet in all the secondary schools. These actions are what led to Anambra moving from 26th place in national exams to number 1 for 3 consecutive years. That is a verifiable fact. So, when he talks about his manifesto and improving education, he is being 100% truthful about the impact and the investment. So, let's go back to Reno Omokri's 10,000 challenge. Is it a fair challenge? That is $10,000 challenge. Is it a fair challenge? Is what you call a semantic trap. If your definition of building a school is strictly laying the foundation of a brand new secondary school, then Reno's money is probably safe. However, if you consider building a university campus from scratch, which he did in Ibaram, or a teaching hospital, or a state library, as he mentioned, then those are educational institutions he did build. More importantly, if you see building as a metaphor for rebuilding the entire educational system, then Peter Obi's claims are very strong. He didn't just build bricks and mortar structures, he built a system that worked. He took collapsed structures and made them functional and award-winning. What's the real gist here? The truth is nuanced. Peter Obi's legacy in Anambra's educational sector is not about the number of new schools he started, but about the massive, verifiable, and successful resuscitation of the entire system. He took what was broken and fixed it. So I have to throw this back to you, my gist lovers. What do you think? Does renovating, equipping, and funding an existing school count as building it in your books? Should a leader focus on building new things for contracts or fixing what is already there? Is Reno's challenge fair, or is it just a political game of words? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. I really want to hear what you think. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Obas Trending Gist, and ring that notification bell so you never miss out on the real story behind the headlines. Until next time, stay informed.